Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Mike Kollin at seductionpower.com. Okay, so today I rode my bike across the Golden Gate Bridge into San Francisco and back. That area is just saucily the Golden Gate Bridge and right into the marina, Chestnut, right by the water. It is beautiful. So today's video is going to be about it's going to be about the way you think and the way you look at things versus the way something actually seduces women. Okay, so let's talk about the left brain for a minute. The reason why I want to do that is because I want you to understand that this is the male brain and it's not going to make a woman like you or be attracted to you. In fact, it actually repels women. And the other thing it does is when you're in your left brain, it puts you in the friend zone. It puts you in the friends box because her mating system is connected to her right brain. So when you're in your left brain, being Mr. Male, Mr. Logic, she has to shift from her right brain over to her left brain. Now, what does this do? It disconnects her from her mating system. It literally turns her off sexually. She's now in her logical brain. Now, scientifically, or I should say neurologically, why does this literally turn her off? Because she has a nerve from her mating system that curves over to the right brain and connects to the right brain's communication center. When you're using the left brain's communication processor, she has to leave that connection to her mating system, meaning she leaves her right brain and goes over to the left brain, and thus, now she's turned off. Now here's the deal. This is just facts. This is scientific, neurological facts. Go ask a neurologist. Go talk to someone who studies. I want to say psychologist, but the funny thing is we learn this in psychology, but it goes over everyone's head. I remember when I learned this, I was like, well, wait a minute. So that means the right brain is what turns her on. But back in the 80s or even early 90s, none of the professors even made the connection, even though they're teaching us, hey, your mating system has a nerve that connects to her right brain. For some reason, even the professors thought it was all about being logical. Now, here's the deal. I'm going to jump out of this, even though what I just said, the scientific facts, the proof, the evidence, it proves what I'm about to say. Understanding is what turns a woman on. It melts her heart. It literally opens her up to her heart and emotions. And thus, she's connected to her mating system. And thus, she's feeling the vibe. She's feeling romantic, meaning she's getting turned on. So heart, her emotions, what is that? That's right brain. The right brain is the emotional processor. It's the emotional 5 senses processor. So when you're coming from a place of, now listen closely, and I teach this in the internal awareness part of the course, my Crack the Female Code course. When you are doing internal awareness, connecting to your heart and emotions, you're opening up to your right brain. When you're understanding, now a lot of guys, well, I logically understand women all the time. No, not logical understanding. Right brain, feeling her energy, her body, her sensing her emotional body. In other words, emotional understanding. Now here's what I was going to say, the challenge for men. We're born using our left brain. We cannot freaking help it when we really think this is what's going to work. I get these clients that come to me and they're like, well, I do this technique. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of logical, don't you think? They're like, well, yeah. I'm like, but that's not going to work. And they're like, what do you mean? It will. Because look, your left brain loves left brain stuff, left brain science, left brain music, left brain everything, techniques, steps. The left brain literally is a step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4 brain. That's what the processor does. Step 1, step 2, you're going up and down a line. It's a linear processor, means it goes in a line. L-I-N-E, linear, L-I-N-E-A-R. It means it goes in a line. It's the line processor. Here's the deal. I could literally, by the way, literally is a left brain word. I could literally make all left brain videos. I could make left brain courses and I could charge you twice as much as I'm charging you now, and you guys would come in droves and you would pay me, and the course would be left brain, the course would be linear, it'd be logical, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. It'd be steps like the left brain loves. Not only would you gladly pay me, you would hug me, you would shake my hand, you would do video testimonials, you would shout my name to the world. But the fact of the matter is, you wouldn't get the results. But here's what the left brain will do though. It wouldn't matter. You would still praise me. You would still tell everyone my course is the best course in the world, even though you're not getting results. See, that's the weird thing about the left brain. It's like, well, I really believe in these techniques, but they don't work. Well, that doesn't really matter. I love the techniques and they're gonna work someday. What do you mean someday? When people take my course, they work today. Now. One of the reasons why I like you guys to call me and talk to me and set up your training is because I'm willing to give you a deal. If we were to talk and get to know you and find out where you're coming from and where you're at, I have no problem giving you a deal. So if the price is bothering you, hey, right now in the month of September, now's the time to work out a deal. I want you to imagine something. First of all, the left brain, it's all about doing techniques, openers, lines, for everything, not just women, but everything. It wants these things to control. What if I were to tell you, this is the part I want you to imagine. What if you didn't have to do openers? What if you didn't have to do lines? What if you didn't have to do and memorize a bunch of techniques to meet the most beautiful women in the world? What if I told you this works on every woman, every girl? It doesn't matter what her race is. It doesn't matter how old she is. It doesn't matter how much money she makes or doesn't make. It doesn't matter what background she has. What I really want you to imagine is, okay, so the pickup artist courses, they load you down with step 1, step 2, rules, rule number 1, rule number 2, don't do this, don't do that. When a woman looks like this, look this way. When a woman does this, don't do this. What if you could throw all that shit in the garbage and you didn't have to fucking think? What if you could literally just be yourself and do a couple very simple patterns and communicate in a slightly different way that the female brain's processor can process in? That's all we're doing. We're getting you to make a slight shift in communication to where her right brain goes, oh, I can understand you now. That's all we're doing. Coming from a place of communicating in a slightly different way, making a shift, and coming from a place of truly opening up and understanding. And this is what I'm going to end the video with. See, a lot of guys want to say understanding. Your automatic process is go to the left brain and go, oh, logical understanding. No, see, that's the problem. See, this is exactly what my course is going to show you. Women will say something out of the right brain and you'll go to your left brain and process those words through the left brain and go, oh, she's saying logical this. No, she's not. And neither am I, especially in this moment. When I say understanding, I don't mean focusing on her or being logical. I mean expanding your awareness, opening up, and simply receiving her entire body language, her body movement, hands, arms, shoulders, spine, hips, knees, legs, everything, her face, opening up and seeing the bigger picture. And receiving her like I'm bringing my hand into my chest right now. I'm pulling her image into me. See, the male brain looks out. Okay, I got it. I got it right here. Okay, I'm going to give you a little science here, a little neurology, okay? So when you're in your left brain, you're literally looking out of your right eye because the nerves in the brain hemispheres cross. The left brain nerves cross over to the right side of your body and they control the right side of your body. The right brain nerves cross over, and if you've ever seen the brain, if you've ever gone to college or just looked at a basic thing of the brain, the right brain's nerves cross over to the left, and they control the left side of the body. So when your right eye dominant, that's how and you can see it because it's the focus is on the right eye and the pupil gets very small. Okay, that's how I know when someone's coming from the left brain. So when the pupil's small, it's like a laser beam that's going out. So it's concentrating the energy and it's pushing it out. So you're looking out. So when I look at someone's eyes, I can tell when they have internal awareness versus external awareness. Now, when you're in your right brain, it becomes really obvious, and women can see this. When you're in your left brain and your pupils are really tiny, it really freaks women out. They're like, "Whoa," because that laser beam energy. Like, what are you talking about? See, when you're narrow like that, when you go to the left brain, you're disconnected from your five senses, so you can't tell when someone's doing it to you. But when you're open, you feel things more. You can sense things more because you're in your right brain, which connects to the five senses: see, hear, feel, smell, and taste. Now, when a woman goes out to the Golden Gate, well, no, let's start with the man. When a man goes out to the Golden Gate Bridge and looks out to the sunset or goes to the beach or wherever, okay? What a man does, he focuses, his pupils get small, and the pupils themselves pull together slightly, a millimeter or 2 millimeters, and those two laser beams come out and they meet at a point out there on the target. In this case, it would be the sun. And he looks at the sun, or he laser beams the seagull about, I don't know, 1,000 feet away, or I don't know, quarter mile or whatever, like he's hunting, like he's looking down a scope. Now, a scope is a narrow tube, and that's how you know when a man's in his logical brain. This is not romance to a woman. So remember, the left brain's the step 1, step 2, step 3. So when you're in that brain, you hear romance, you think steps, okay? And so what you do is I got to pull out the chair. I've got to open the door to the restaurant. I got to pull up in my car. I got to wash my car. I got to dress nice. I've got to, in this step 1, step 2, step 3. I've got to pay for dinner. These are the steps. If I follow the steps, it's going to lead me to the goal at the end of the rainbow. No, it doesn't. It does the opposite. It leads you in the wrong way. And that's what I'm trying to say. Now, the promised land. Okay, here we're getting to the promised land. So when a woman looks out, she doesn't look out from the Golden Gate Bridge at the beach. What she does is she opens her eyes. They pull apart slightly to see the wider, bigger picture. Yeah, if you know anything about cameras or lenses, you know what I'm talking about. It's kind of like on your camera, you can zoom in or zoom out, and that's literally what I'm talking about. So the romance is when you zoom out. Okay, when you expand open, you pull the pupils apart, the pupils get large. Now you're seeing the even greater, bigger picture. So when you do both, enlarge the pupils and pull them out slightly, you're doing both ways to see the larger picture. You're expanding outwards. This is understanding to a woman. This is romance to a woman. But Mike, I'm talking in my logical language. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, but Mike, I mean, I picked her up. I got out of the car. I opened the door and I shut the door and I drove her to the restaurant. Step 2. But Mike, I opened the restaurant door. But Mike, I did the steps. I got her some seats and I ordered for her. Step number 4. But Mike, I pulled out her chair. But Mike, I paid for the... It's like, guys, even your voice is going to give you away. Being logical turns her off. That's not to say that you have to get rid of your logic for the rest of your life. A lot of guys go, so I have to never do that. And like, no, I didn't say that. There's certain places to apply logic, and there's certain places not to apply logic, like relationships, dating, social situations. The right brain is the dating, relationship, social brain, literally. It's also the emotional five senses processor. It's about love, compassion, and understanding. So here's the deal. The way you do this is by being internal. I'm going to have to teach this to you in the course. It's just a different way. That's all it is. Now in the beginning, you're going to be kind of clunky and kind of rough with it, but anytime you learn something new, that's what it's going to be like. But over a period of time, you'll be surprised how fast this becomes. Generally, inside the course, you'll pop open, and then you'll be like, oh, this. I'm like, yeah, that. Now you got it. Once you get there, once you pop open, for the rest of your life, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Here's the really cool thing. We'll keep taking you to this place. We do a series of techniques every day during the course. We'll open you. Then one day you're going to pop, and you're just going to be there. I live for that moment. That's why I do this work. When I see a man pop open, his whole world changes, his whole life. He looks at everything from a radically, completely different perspective, and they're in just absolute awe. I'm trying to find the right words. God, I'm not, guys, I'm not finding the right words, but their whole life changes, and they look at me like, so this is what he's like, yeah, now do you understand why it's so amazing? When you do this, women will smile at you. Here's the deal. When you listen to me from that place, from that space, from that side, whatever you want to call it, you will hear everything that I said before and understand it. You will have memories come up from your mother when she yelled at you when you were a kid. Like, wait, I thought she said this and I did it. Now she's mad. And then you'd be like, oh shit, she didn't mean A. She meant frickin' B. She meant the opposite of what I thought. This is what our brain does. The left brain processes everything in a different way. So she's saying A in the right brain, and your left brain changes everything to the opposite. Do you really want to understand women? Do you really want to get along with women? Do you really want to have a relationship where she can actually understand you and understand what you're saying? But Mike, I speak perfect English. No, you don't. Not right brain English, and it is a different language. I'm serious. You know, not only do I hear women tell me all the time when they take my course for women, like, I don't understand men. I literally, it's like they're speaking Greek to me, and I just smile and I nod. Guys, here's the deal. Women don't tell you this because you're in your left brain and they know it'll piss you off. And not only that, but you won't, you will think she's joking or just saying, or being weird. No, they're being literal. By the time a woman's 32, 34 years old, they've given up. They're like, man, men just don't get it. Like, women will literally say, women say it all the time at seminars. They say it in my course, and they're just like, it's like we're just speaking two different languages. And guess what, guys? They are right. Now, here's the deal. You just heard me say that, but it went right past your head. You've heard this in movies. You've heard it in songs. You've heard it at school and high school. You've heard it from your teachers. You've heard it from your mother. You've heard it from your girlfriends. You've heard this. Your brain has heard the words. It's gone in your ears. But you just kind of like rolled it off like, yeah, whatever, it's weird. Whatever. When you take my course, you're going to hear it. You're really going to, not only will you hear it, but you'll see it. When you understand the different languages, you're going to be like, we're literally speaking two different languages. We don't understand each other. And here's the really cool part. When she does understand you, when you do speak her language, she'll look at you like the girl in the picture right now. She's going to light up. I'm telling you guys, this course is about love, communication, and understanding, which all leads to compassion, which leads to that smile. Broken no more. Come learn how to be bulletproof. It all starts here at seductionpower.com. And it all starts with my book, Crack the Female Code. Go to my website, seductionpower.com, and buy my book, Crack the Female Code, and then take the course. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next video and then at a training.